Hello everyone, and thank you so much for joining me on this channel, Adults ESL Online Learning. And in this video, we are going to be looking at and discussing Mexican folk dance traditional costumes. The first female doll, Fernanda, wears a practice costume with a tank top and a circular skirt. The first male doll, Antonio, is dressed in a charro vest with gala trousers. Both garments have embroidered trim called greca. He wears a camisa or charro shirt with a corbata, silk neck scarf. Carolina, the second female doll, wears a fringed leather cowgirl suit in a Western rancher style, typical of Tamaulipas Sur in the region of Nueva León. Her skirt is called a falda. The jacket is a saco. Her partner, Diego, the second male doll, wears a similar fringed Western-styled leather suit. His hat is more like the broad-brimmed fedora worn by Hollywood cowboys than the traditional Mexican sombrero. Although these two costumes represent the state of Jalisco, the charro shown on Antonio is worn in many folk festivals throughout Mexico. This one is in the mariachi style but lacking the gold trim, greca. Instead, it has silver buttons for the jacket closure and the breeches. The Adelita dress from Jalisco shown on Fernanda is believed to date back to a Mexican Revolution song about a beautiful camp follower who was in love with a sergeant. The dress has a ruffled shoulder cape. From Tehuantepec, Oaxaca, comes this unique Zapotec costume. Supposedly, a Spanish ship sank in the 1600s, and a chest filled with the woman's lacy undergarments floated to shore. The Native Americans did not know the purpose of the garments, so several women put them over their heads to use as hats. The artist Frida Kahlo depicted herself in this Zapotec garb in a self-portrait. Chiapas in southwestern Mexico is lush and tropical. Many of its inhabitants are direct descendants of the Mayans. Perhaps the best known Chiapas festival costume is this modern floral fantasy of roses on a black background. The flowers are often embroidered and sometimes scattered with sequins. Fernanda dons a red rebozo, long scarf. From Jalisco, just west of Mexico City, comes this flirtatious, full-skirted, satin-ribboned, trimmed dance costume known as the Adelita. Fernanda's dance partner would be decked out in a gala charro suit. The China Poblana dress is the national costume of Mexico. Its story from the 1600s concerns a kidnapped Asian princess who was sold to a wealthy Mexican landowner. She won his heart and he adopted her as his daughter. The princess made herself an embroidered dress modeled after the native costume. Many tried to copy the dress, and the popular style became known as the Poblana. Modern versions add sequins to the skirt, and many include the national symbol of an eagle sitting on a cactus and holding a snake. Chihuahua, Mexico's largest state, has a Germanic tradition stemming from settlers who migrated there in the 1800s. This simple costume resembles its counterpart in Central Europe, but is worn over cowboy-style boots. This ethnic costume, the terno, is from Mérida, Yucatan. It is worn while dancing the jacana, The elaborately embroidered teronol consists of the jubon or quichquemiro, a square neck piece, the hupillo, a square cut dress, and the fustan, a long, straight cut slip. This costume, worn by Fernanda, is a modern day treatment based on the traditional fustan worn under a sarape like top, but decorated with modern symbols. This wedding dance costume from Veracruz is sheer white, accented with a black apron. The women of Veracruz wear flowers in their hair on the right side if they are single, on the left if they are married. The mountainous state of Nayarit runs along the Pacific coast. Here, Carolina wears a Nayarit peasant costume with a short-sleeved blouse, a petticoat, a circular overskirt, and a sheer embroidered apron. Carolina wears huaraches, woven leather sandals. Diego wears a vestido blanco. His trousers are embroidered with spiritual symbols such as the eagle. His plaited straw sombrero is edged with swinging glass beads called chaquira. Campeche, both city and state, is located on the Gulf of Mexico on the Yucatan Peninsula. Its pre-Spanish history is primarily Mayan. Here, Antonio wears a draped sarape. Carolina wears a simple costume of a Puebla, straight cut blouse, short sleeves, decorated with black embroidery. Her full skirt, falda circulo, has a double row of sheer flounces. This folk dress from Guadalajara is similar to the Adelita dress, except that the lining of this skirt is patterned with ribbons and the ruffled bib falls to below the waistline. Tlaxcala, both city and state in south-central Mexico, is its smallest state. It once was home to the Olmeca Ixcalanca civilization. There always has been a strong Spanish colonial influence in its folk costumes, as shown in this print costume with puffed sleeves and short circular skirt. Carolina wears a striped sash, faja. Diego dons a simple costume of shirts, pants, boots, sash, banda, and sombrero. These reconstructions are based on what little information exists from ancient Aztec paintings and sculptures. The man's loincloth may have been called a maxiltl. Apparently, only royalty, state officials, and heroic individuals wore such elaborate clothing.